Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord God of Israel. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Gonna keep the faith in thee. Lord, I won't be deceived. In a world of poverty, yet in all I still believe.
Now we will have the reading of the law. Start at Exodus, the 20th chapter. Read verses 1 through 17. Okay, go ahead.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
So now let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. Read verses 13 and 14.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Now Revelation chapter 22, verses 14 and 15.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
So that is the reading of the law, sisters and brothers, which Israel read every Sabbath. But now, I'm going to get into this lesson. This lesson is titled Food for Thought. Food for thought. You know, it's not a particular lesson about a particular subject. It's just some things that the Lord put it on my mind to put together to put something on your mind. Because the Lord has blessed us with a lot of understanding. We understand things that a lot of people on this planet don't understand. We even understand that God created man to become God. Believe me, it might be common with you, but I've never heard anybody else teach that at any time. And I watch most all of the preachers, sisters. But today, we want to do something simple. Sometimes we are servant. We serve God. We have all this understanding, but sometimes we don't have a look at ourselves. And we just sometimes have some of the sisters and brothers supposed to be serving just plain old ugly with their attitude. And we have a lot of things that's going on. But I put this together, but this is for us. It's not to beat anybody up. It's just to let you know some of the things that God don't like. Okay? So the first time I heard about getting thrown in the lake of fire, the first question I asked was, what do I have to do to keep that from happening to me? And that's when my education started. But we're going to start this in Proverbs, the 6th chapter, because this is simple. Just read some of the things. Not no particular. Usually we put something under a title, but this is food for thought. We're going to cover several things. And it's all about self-control, self-sanitizing. Because sometimes we can get so holy until we get ugly. All right? Proverbs 6, and we're going to start reading at verse 16, 6 and 16. Because there's some things that there's 6 things that the Lord don't like. In fact, you say hate. Hate is a strong word, ain't it? That means we're going to pay some attention to this. Verse 16, go ahead.
These 6 things does the Lord hate.
Uh-huh.
Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Go ahead.
A proud look.
Now, the first thing you talking with a proud look. Walking around with a proud look like you something whatever. That's one. Started right off the top, ain't it? How can the Lord not like a proud look? Hey, God is the one that created us. What you got to be proud of?
Right.
Go ahead and read.
A lying tongue.
You know he hate that, a lying tongue. Go ahead.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
And people that want to hurt somebody or kill somebody. Go ahead.
A heart that divides a wicked imagination.
Uh-huh.
Feet that be swift and run into mischief.
A heart that's always devising wicked imagination. You're always thinking evil or crooked about somebody or how to hurt somebody. You don't ever have nothing good to say about nobody. God say he hate that. He hate that. And then feet is always running, what verse were we?
That was 18.
Verse 18, the feet that do what?
Feet that be swift and run into mischief.
Always swift to get off into mischief. Love good old juicy stories. Love turmoil. God said, I hate these things. Go ahead. Go ahead.
A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren.
And a false witness is always lying on somebody and always creating separation between sisters and brothers. And you have people like that. Every time they open their mouth, you have to think, I can't believe nothing that they say. God say he hate that. Hate is a strong emotion, sister and brother.
Right.
And this is something that you have to sanitize. Because we are in a world of hypocrites. Everybody is holy in their own mind. Now let's go into Proverbs, the 24th chapter. And when you see the wicked, the Lord is telling you now, don't want to be like them. Because sometimes you look at people that do everything and don't nothing ever happen to them. And now you ought to get mad. But God have a solution for that. He warned you about that. Proverbs chapter 24, and we're going to start at verse 1. We're just going to do us some reading of what the Lord said. We're going to let the Bible speak to you. 24 and 1. Go ahead and read.
Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them.
See, you get a lot of evil men. They're doing stuff. They don't come to you as evil, but they do ugly things, sisters and brothers. And they prosper for it. Like people, you get somebody's lying, embezzling somebody. Even like somebody, I give brothers like beats the government. I've had to had some GIs come to me because I'm a former GI. Brother, you getting any benefits? No, Well, you can get this and you can get that. I said, but I'm not sick. Hey, man, the government, they got plenty of money, but I'm not sick. The Lord knows what I am. And the ones that doing it like that and know they shouldn't be getting it, I'm not envious of them. I feel bad for them. Because payday always comes, sisters and brothers. That's one of the things the Lord showed me earlier. Payday always comes. Go ahead and read.
For their heart study destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
Somebody's always thinking about destruction, and they're full of mischief. So when you look at an evil person that's prospering, everybody knows some. Doing everything wrong, but everything seems to be working for them. The Lord said, don't be envious of these people. Because they got a day coming. Skip down to verse 16. Verse 16, go ahead.
For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Look, sisters and brothers, the Lord let you know if you're just. Not saying you're not going to fall, but he said you're going to rise. He said if you fall 7 times, you're going to rise 7 times. That's a completion, sisters and brothers. Just keep doing just and keep doing right. It's all that simple. Like I give people money on the street. Sometimes they stop me. I give them money. Brother tell me, man, why should you give them money? They don't need money. They embezzling people. I said, that's on them. It's not on me. You understand? Now, if they're being mischievous, they're going to fall one day and they're not going to rise. But if I keep doing what I'm supposed to do, I know if I fall 7 times, I'm going to get up 7 times. These are the things that you have to put on your mind, sisters and brothers. Don't let nobody stop you from thinking and doing well. Go ahead and read.
Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth, and let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth.
Now, this is something that most people can't deal with. Person that's supposed to be your enemy. Now, like I said, I have enemies, but when I say I have enemies, I'll put it like this here. I'm an enemy because they take me as an enemy, but I am not their enemy. Because whatever they do, people try to do to me, it is on the Lord. You hear a whole lot of ugly things. A lot of you get on the internet, people say a whole lot of ugly things about Brother Boyd. But you don't ever see me reciprocate, except for when I'm trying to straighten somebody out for the sake of other people. So he's telling you, rejoice not when you're enemy. Lest the Lord do what? Lest when he see him?
Lest the Lord see it and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him.
Now, the Lord see you. Now, your enemy is being taken down from the Lord by the Lord. Now you start rejoicing, take him down, take him down. Now you have become like the one that he's taken down. So why should the Lord take him down for wishing harm on you, and you are wishing harm on him? I tell you what, he said, I tell you, don't do it. If you do it, then the Lord might stop bringing him down. Sometimes the Lord will deliver you from somebody, but you so happy when the Lord is hurting them. Then you started rejoicing. Then what's the difference in you and them? There ain't no difference. Go ahead and read.
Fret not thyself because of evil men. Neither be thou envious of the wicked.
Go ahead.
For there shall be no reward to the evil man.
Go ahead.
For the candle of the wicked shall be put out.
The Lord letting you know, don't fret yourself because of evil men. Because the candle of the wicked is going to be put out. Sisters and brothers, that's why I look at my Hebrew brothers out there throwing vitriol and hating and hollering and trying to bring talk destruction. Why are you doing that? Well, because they did that to me, well, then you have become them. Our job is to bring everybody back to the Lord, because all of us have suffered some kind of flaw. So how is it that I am going to get out and show hatred to anybody because they have showed hatred to me? That means I have become them. Servants of God are supposed to think like that. And don't hate nobody on this planet. Because if you know what? Because you have become wicked now, and the Lord's going to put your candle out. These things, sisters and brothers, that's why I call it food for thought. To get to thinking, how is it that I am going to blame you for something, for doing something to me, and I turn around and do the same thing to you? Servants of God don't deal with vengeance, because the Lord said, vengeance is mine. You just don't deal with it. You do something to me, and if I stop you, but then I don't get even, then I'm going to leave you to the Lord. Believe me, the Lord can do more to you than I can. You can die and get away from me. You die, the Lord going to wake you up and still throw you in the lake of fire. That's why you have to think about these. This is what this lesson to make you think, sisters and brothers. Let's go into Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22, and we're going to start reading at verse 24. Proverbs chapter 22, and we're going to start reading at verse 24. 22 and 24. Okay, go ahead.
Make no friendship with an angry man. And
Now, pay attention now. Make no friendship with an angry man. Who is a man? Somebody always mad about something. You can't say nothing to them, then they fall all off the handle. Get mad and don't ever cool off. Mad forever. Angry all the time. So make no friendship with an angry man. Why? Go ahead.
And with the furious man, thou shalt not go.
The man is always furious, infuriated about something. He said, look, don't go with people like that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to find yourself in the same situation. And you have to watch that, sisters and brothers. Go ahead and read.
Lest thou learn his ways and get a snare to thy soul.
You know that old thing about you are a product of your environment? If you're hanging with somebody that's mad all the time and mad at somebody all the time, can't be talked to all the time, and then infuriating all the time, always snapping on some people, after a while, you're going to find yourself doing the same thing. And if you do, you are creating a snare for your soul. You're creating something for God, to pay you back for. Go ahead and read.
Be not thou one of them that strike hands, or of them that are surety for debts.
Now, what is talking about strike hand and them that are surety of debt? That's talking about one that don't be so quick to go out and borrow money or buy stuff that you can't afford. Because if you don't, what's going to happen? Go ahead.
If thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take it away, thy bed from under thee?
So now if you take your bed, that means he done took everything, haven't he? You know you can't pay for something, but you go get it. You know you can't pay us money back, but you go borrow it. And then when you can't pay for it, they're going to come and get your car. Mm-hmm. They're going to come get your house. They'll repossess your bed and all of your furniture. The Lord said, don't do that. Because you don't, if you do that, they are going to come and they are going to deal with you. What verse was that?
That was the end of 27.
Now skip down to verse 29, and this is what I really like. Go ahead and read.
Seest thou a man diligent in his business?
Seest thou a man that is diligent in his business, taking care of his business? Go ahead and read.
He shall stand before kings.
He going to stand before kings?
He shall not stand before mean men.
And he ain't going to never stand before mean men. When you take care of your business, sister and brother, And you keep everything in order. Don't borrow what you can't pay back. Don't take what you can't pay for. Keep everything so you can control it. Now, you ain't stand before no mean man. Who's a mean man? Somebody always in your face. Where my money at? I'm going to take your house. Here's a 5-day notice. Something you might be able to avoid if you handle your business right. And you're going to stand before kings. What do you mean stand before king? Because everybody wants you around when you take care of your business. It's all that simple. Everybody's trying to borrow from you. Everybody's trying to sell something to you. Everybody's trying to loan you something because you know you can take care of the business. But you're smart enough not to go beyond your capability. So you ain't going to never stand before no mean person. You know why? Because you take care of your business. You are not lazy. And you will work so you can buy what you want. So you won't have to have desire. You don't have to desire things because you don't have the money to get it, and you can't. Because you are diligent in your business, and you are not lazy. Let me show you what happened when a lazy person. Let's go into Proverbs. Back right up to Proverbs, the 21st chapter. Proverbs chapter 21. And we're going to start reading at verse 25. 21 and 25. Because these things, you say, well, Brother Boy, who needs this? I'm going to tell you something. Israel as a whole needs it. Well, I see it all the time, sisters and brothers. I see it all the time. I spent years as a city inspector. I went in places and some of the stuff I could tell you about, you would be shocked. And some of them didn't have to be because somebody didn't take care of their business. They could have. And some were just outright lazy. And because of that condition, they fell in poverty. Verse 25, go ahead.
The desire of the slothful killeth him.
Now, you know, slothful means lazy, okay? The desire of a slothful killeth him. Go ahead and read.
For his hands refuse to labor.
Because he refused to work. And we have some people like that. We used to have a lot of brothers like that in the Israel of God in our early days. You hated to see him coming. Because he always wants something. Go ahead and read.
He coveted greedily all the day long. But the righteous give it and spare it not.
Now you're coveting what everybody have. And greedily. You know, this person got this, oh, well, you don't need this here. Well, you know, he done jumped up and bought him a great big car. I said, can he afford it? Yeah, then what you think he working for? Man, they got $300,000 or $400,000 house. Who needs it? I say, have they come and asked you, brother, could you help me pay for a month's mortgage? No. Can you loan me? No. Then why is it that you're worried about something that they have taken care of?
Right.
That's why you work. You're not lazy. You're not lazy because you don't want your desire to come up on you as a thief. What verse is that? Did you finish that?
Yeah, that was the end of 26.
Go ahead and read.
That was the end of 26.
That's the end of 26. So this is laziness, sisters and brothers, because you did not take care of your business. Well, you see, brother, since we are spiritual in the Lord, I want you to look out for your brother. I'm going to show you what the Apostle Paul said. Keep your marker here in Proverbs because we're going to be in here all afternoon. But let's go into 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. And people get mad when you tell them that. 2 Thessalonians, the 3rd chapter. Because sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sister and brother, I get people come to me so much until I have to pray to the Lord to keep composure. You understand? But the only way I comfort myself is saying, look, it is better to give than receive. Because as long as you are giving, that means you're in pretty good shape. But if you have to receive all the time, you got a problem. Mm-hmm. But look what Paul was saying to the Thessalonians here. 3, and we're going to read verse 7. Start at verse 7. Okay, go ahead.
For yourselves know how ye ought to follow us. For we behave not ourselves disorderly among you.
Go ahead.
Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught.
Now this is Paul now. They were preaching now. And he didn't went and even taught these Thessalonians. He said, look, we have been misbehaving among you. And he said, look, and we have not eaten at your expense. We have taken care of our own needs. Go ahead and read.
But wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we might not be chargeable to any of you.
So what we did was we preached to you. We worked night and day and we preached to you and didn't charge you nothing, didn't take nothing from you, so we don't have to have you try to dictate to us what you want us to say. We ain't chargeable to none of you. This is Apostle Paul here. Some of these modern day preachers need to look at this. Because I can say the same thing. I ain't chargeable to none of you. I'm going to eat. I don't care. I come here next Sabbath and there ain't nobody here. I talk to the seats and then I go back home and turn on my YouTube. Break out me some wine. And get my cookie and put me some peanut butter on it. And eat it. You know why? Because I work for a living. I preach for salvation. Skip down to verse 10. Verse 10 and go ahead.
For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
Whoa, that's cold, ain't it? This is Paul saying, look, this is what I commanded y'all when I was with you. If you got some brothers around or sisters that could take care of themselves, but they refuse to work, refuse to labor, then they should not eat. That's cold-blooded, but that's the way it should be. You know why? Because the Lord said, by the sweat of your face shall you earn your living. Didn't he say that?
Yes, he did. Genesis.
Until you return to the ground. God set work in order. So if you want to eat, you got to work. You have got to work, sisters and brothers. You can't be lazy. Now let's go back and deal with this lazy person just a little bit more. Let's go into back to Proverbs, this time the 26th chapter. Proverbs chapter 26. But we don't need this, but I'm going to tell you something. In our early days, we had some brothers they were so lazy, if they had to put food in their mouth from the plate on the table, they'd starve. Always wanting something from somebody. Proverbs 26, and we're going to start at verse 12. Proverbs 26 and verse 12. Because they're always coming up with a reason. Go ahead and read.
Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit?
Now, you know what wise in his own conceit? That means you think more than yourself than you are. Okay? So when you think more than yourself than you are, then who are you compared to? Go ahead and read.
There is more hope of a fool than of him.
That's it. Because you taunting yourself like you're something that you're not. Go ahead and read.
The slothful man said, there is a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets.
Now, any excuse to keep him from going to work, right?
That's right.
Well, you know the sun is too hot. I might faint. I'm going to get me a night job. Night come, well, you know they got muggers in the night. I can't go to work because I might get mugged. And what do?
Don't go.
You stay at home. Go ahead and read.
As the door turneth upon his hinges, so does the slothful upon his bed.
So is the lazy up on his bed, just like a door on the hinges. You sleep on this side, then you turn, you sleep on that side. But you don't get up. The bed you're sleeping on, somebody else gave it to you. Or it belonged to somebody. Go ahead and read.
The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom. It grieveth him to bring it again to his mouth.
Didn't I say that? So he hide his hand in his bosom, and it's a grief for him to bring it to his mouth. That's to put food in his own mouth. This is the Lord had this written. Because you got some people out there just like that. Think that to work, if you work, you are stupid. Even have a president say a military man, you get anybody to go into a military man, so look and say he's a loser. Wait a minute, those are the ones that keep everybody from coming up and shooting everybody over here. Ain't that correct? Thank God for losers. Go ahead and read.
16. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason.
Say ain't that something? So the sluggard, still a labor man, he's wise in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. You can give him all good. Look, man, this is why you should work. You like cars, you should go to work. Oh, man, I catch the bus. But you got to have money to pay the bus fare. Oh, I'll go down to the church and get me a bus car. You'd be surprised. This is the thinking of a lazy man, sisters and brothers. Let's go into Proverbs, the 24th chapter, because you got a lot of this. And I know that some people call the class need help, and I know these people shouldn't have to do that, but they refuse. Sometimes you set things up so people can feed themselves, but it takes too much effort. That means I got to go and do this. I don't feel like it, I'm tired. I didn't feel too good. I had a headache last night. Verse 30, Proverbs 24 and 30. Okay, go ahead.
I went by the field of the slothful and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns.
The thorns, he said, went by the field of the lazy, and the man is void of understanding. What's the void of understanding? Understanding that if you got something, you got to take care of this, it's going to come to nothing. He said, look, and lo, it was all grown over with thorns. Go ahead.
And nettles had covered the face thereof. And the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction.
He said, look, it was grown up with weeds, even the stone wall, that had a nice wall, it was all broken down. He said, I looked at it and I received instruction. He got a message out of that. What was this message? Go ahead and read.
Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall that poverty come as one that travaileth.
Ain't that something? He said, I learned something. A little sleep and a little slumber and folding of the hand without going to work. So now your poverty is going to come up on you as a woman in labor. That's a lot of pain. That woman done told me. Go ahead and read.
So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man.
And your want gonna come up on you as a stick-up man. He gonna stick you up, and you can't do nothing about it. Your wants are gonna come up on you, and your desires, and you can't do nothing about it. You know why? Because you didn't go to work. Therefore, you didn't go to work. You ain't got no money. You want. So, and then again, too, he said, I learned something from the lazy person. Even if he has something of value, sooner or later, you have to do something to fix it or repair it. You have to work it, and if you don't, it's going to come to nothing. So what he learned is, if I got some of value, I want to make sure that I take care of it, because if I don't, I'm going to end up losing it. And one of the biggest things, sisters and brothers, you see brothers that have families and don't want to work. Some of them will come in and they'll stand among the brothers, my brother. And I see brothers shaking hands and everything else. But you go to his house. He ain't got no food in his house. Children are raggedy. But he coming in with a nice suit among the brothers. Let's go into 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter. But keep your marker here. We're going to come back to Proverbs. 1 Timothy, the 5th chapter. And we're going to read one verse. 1 Timothy 5 and 8. Now, I've seen it, sisters and brothers. I've seen some brothers show up, dressed nice. Wife come in, look like she got her clothes from the scarecrow. But still, you're going to walk around, you're going to shake hands, my brothers. But when you walk up to me, I ain't going to shake hands because I'm going to be looking at that wife of yours. Like Lil Milton said, you walk around in hand-glazed clothes, and say, but your children at home with no shoes. This is what Paul was talking about here. 5 and 8, read it.
But if any provide not for his own,
and
especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith.
He hath denied the faith. Look, say that and read that before we go any further. He have done what?
He has denied the faith.
He have denied the faith. Go finish it.
And is worse than an infidel.
And you're worse than an infidel. Because the first thing a man of God is supposed to take care is his household. How you going to come and you're going to feed the people of God spiritually when you ain't feeding your wife and your children? Well, brother, you know, she grown too. She got a degree. She should at least bring in half of the book. Didn't say that. If she don't do nothing, you the head of the household, what do? You going to take care of the business. God created a woman to be a helpmeet to man, not to take the lead and not to be 50-50. You want to be the head when you open your mouth and call the shots and direct the activities in your household, but you want her to come in with 50% of the thing, all of it, some of it. You have denied the faith. And you are worse than an infidel. That's a man that don't take care of his own household, sister. Because if you can't take care of your household, what you gonna take? You know, you talking, well, you see the Lord said this and the Lord said that, then your wife and your children come in, look like rag dolls. I say something, I'm gonna tell you something, a guy said in Washington Park to me one time. Had a lot of guys out there teaching, and some of them come there and look like they drug up out of the garbage can. He said, boy, if I'm going to serve somebody's God, I'm going to serve Boer's God, because at least he sent him out dressed. Same thing with your household. If I'm going to listen to you, and I'm looking at your family, and you done neglected them, what you going to tell me? The Bible says you have denied the faith. Let's go into Malachi, the 2nd chapter. And the Lord, looking at that, sister and brother. The Lord is looking at all this. See, this is the problem. People don't know that the Lord watch everything. Don't nothing go by. That's why he had this kind of stuff written to let you know, I'm looking at you. Malachi, the 2nd chapter. Malachi chapter 2. And we're going to start reading at verse 13. See, I know that the Lord looking at me. And I know he reads my mind. Sometimes I have to struggle with some thoughts I have in my head because I'm flesh.
I hear you.
But I don't use flesh as an excuse or a crutch. I deal with, no, I ain't going there. 2 and 13, Malachi 2 and verse 13. Go ahead.
And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears.
Now he's talking about his brothers. You understand? You have covered the Lord, offered the Lord with tears. Go ahead and read.
With weeping and with crying out. insomuch that he regarded not the offering anymore, or receiveth it with good will at your hand.
Now you always whining to the Lord. Lord, give me this, give me this. Why don't I have it? Always. He said to the point that he could, even the Lord said, I don't receive your prayer and your offering with good will. Then you're going to ask the question, why? Go ahead and read.
Yet ye say, wherefore?
Why, God, won't you hear me? Go ahead and read.
Because the Lord has been witness between thee and thy wife for thy youth.
Because I've been watching what you're doing with your wife, mister. Go ahead.
Against whom thou hast dealt treacherously.
And you have dealt treacherously with her. You think don't nobody looking at the brother and the sister don't see it, but God got that angel right there that he's looking at you. And he's going to report. Go ahead and read.
Yet is she thy companion and the wife of thy covenant.
She's the wife of your covenant. And you've been dealing treacherously with her, sisters and brother. Go ahead and read.
Did not he make one?
Uh-huh.
Yet had he the residue of the Spirit.
Go ahead.
And wherefore one?
Uh-huh.
That he might seek a godly seed.
Go ahead.
Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth.
The Lord's watching you. Watching you. You can fool me. You can fool everybody else, but you can't fool the Lord, sister and brother.
Right.
And all of a sudden, things that you've been having and been doing well, that all of a sudden start going bad, start coming to nothing. He said, I'm working. It's just like putting money in a bag with a hole in it. But the Lord has watched how you behave to your family and to your wife. You understand? Brother Boy, what about the woman? How does she treat? If a man's a man, the woman can't take him down. He can give him a lot of grief. I agree with that. But if he's a man, he's going to keep standing. So when you're praying and praying and praying and your condition is getting worse and worse and you can't do nothing about it, you might go and read what Malachi said. God got tired of listening to you because your mind is in the wrong place and your behavior is wrong toward your family. So until you straighten your behavior out, you don't have nothing coming. And sometimes the Lord will bless you. I'm going to show you a blessing here. Let's go into Proverbs, the 18th chapter. That's why I told you to keep your place in 18th and Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 18. You know, the Lord is letting you know, sisters and brothers, even when you get something good, where it came from. Proverbs 18, they're going to read one verse. Verse 22. 18 and 22. 18 and 22. Okay, go ahead.
Whoso findeth the wife, findeth the good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
And whoso find the wife find a good thing, and you have obtained favor from the Lord. But you know, wife ain't all the time when the woman say, I do. Wife covers a whole lot of things. And let me show you how you know when you have found favor from the Lord. Let's go into Proverbs chapter 31. Proverbs chapter 31. But the one thing is, either way it go, though, you have to you find favor from the Lord when you get a wife, because the consequences of going out and behaving like a reproducer and ain't got no wife.
Reproducer.
The Lord have a thing he called that's called fornicating.
Yeah.
So if you got a wife, it's just like like Coco Taylor had a song, I got a piece of man. Well, she said, he's better than no man at all. You can make out of that what you want to. Proverbs 31, and we're going to start reading at verse 10. Proverbs 31 and 10. Go ahead.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
So this is, now if you got one of these, a virtuous woman, the price is far above rubies. Go ahead and read.
The heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Now that's good. Your husband can trust in you. Know you ain't going to take nothing from him, and know you ain't going to put him somewhere he can't crawl out of. You ain't going to go out and make bills that he can't pay. Go ahead and read.
He will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
And she's going to do him good and not evil all the days of her life. This is a woman, a wife that the Lord have sent you. This is the one that you have found favor from the Lord. Go ahead and read.
She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands.
Now, you know, everybody don't do sewing, but he uses as a metaphor. You understand? Go ahead and read.
That was the end of 13.
And skip down now to verse 25. Verse 25. And go ahead.
Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come.
The Lord's going to bless her in time to come, sister and brother. Sometimes people think they're dealing with their spouse or an individual. No, you are dealing with the Lord. And you keep laying down the wrong behavior. What you're doing is you're billing your debt with God, and everybody pays. I want y'all to get that in your mind. Everybody pays. And sometimes you pay when you least can afford it. Go ahead and read.
She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
She opened her mouth with wisdom. She ain't talking crazy all the time. And she is kind. Sometimes you get some women that can be kind among their friends, but they go home, what you talking about? I ain't saying nothing. But look, I don't feel like it. Get out my face. Always you got some ugly to say to your husband, or you don't say nothing at all. Just walk to him, look at him like he's a piece of furniture and go on about your business. God see that. You understand? And the day gonna come when he gonna collect. He was kind. I see brothers, he go in and he open a door for a woman, but when his wife get in the car, he tell her, get in the car. Wow. Wife talk real nice to other people and to another, my brother, how you doing? Then she want her husband give him that mean move. Like, you better get out of my face. Even if she don't open her mouth, that look tell him. I'm putting it the way it is.
That's right.
Go ahead and read what verse?
27. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
She always looking to improve her house. And they ain't sitting around and doing nothing when there's something to be done. Go ahead and read.
Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her.
And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, sometimes brothers have virtuous women, they don't praise them. If your wife do something, what's wrong with you saying, thank you? I really appreciate what you did. I can't be saying, that's my wife. Why not? You understand? Why not? Let her know that you are pleased with her. But we don't like to do that. You know why? That's a sign of weakness. Go ahead and read.
Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain.
Pay attention to this, sister and brother. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. Go ahead and read.
But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
See, because you can get old, and all that beauty you got start to fade. But this woman has been a good woman to you, a good wife. It don't matter. I don't care how wrinkled her face is. You can kiss her like you did the first day you met her. You understand? It's because she have done nothing but good to you. Go ahead and read.
Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.
And that's the whole thing. Do right no matter. Even if your husband is rotten as an apple. You do the right thing. The day gonna come when your own works are going to praise you, the Lord going to bless you for it. But when you get a woman that's come and try to do everything that's good for a household, that's a virtuous woman. They won't do nothing to hurt her household. They won't do nothing to hurt her husband. Don't do things that you have to hide from your children. The Lord said, that's a virtuous woman. And a man's supposed to be head of the household, just like Paul was telling you, like Jesus is the head of the church. He do everything he can to protect you, don't he? And to save it. And if you don't take care of your household, you are worse than an infidel. And you have lost the faith. You call yourself a servant of God. Let's go into Proverbs, the 9th chapter. Back up to Proverbs, the 9th chapter. Because then you got some women that ain't so. I thought I'd read the verses for at first so y'all won't stone me because y'all never get to the verses. Proverbs 9, and we're going to start at verse 13. 9 and 13. Proverbs 9 and verse 13. Proverbs, the 9th chapter, and we're going to start reading at verse 13. Okay, go ahead.
A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing.
What does clamorous mean? She noisy, always talking loud. Ain't got nothing to say. It means she's simple and knowing nothing, but got a lot to say. But go ahead and read.
For she sitteth at the door of her house, on a seat in the high places of the city.
And she'll go someplace else that she shouldn't go now. Go ahead and read.
To call passengers who go right on their ways.
Now, this is a foolish woman, even a whorish woman. She'll call passengers. In other words, she will deal outside of her marriage in a minute. And look what she said. Go ahead.
Whoso is simple, let him turn in hither.
Whoso is simple, let him turn in here. Because if you're going to turn and deal with a married woman, you are simple. Go ahead and read.
And as for him that wanteth understanding, she said to him, stolen waters are sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant.
That wanteth to understand means that lacks understanding. Yeah. Stolen water is sweet. It belongs to somebody else. And if you get caught, you can get the top of your head blown off.
That's right.
But if you should get away with it, God is waiting on you.
That's right.
Anything that you have that don't belong to you, it's not sweet. But only the simple will deal with it. The stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Yeah, until you choke on it. Go ahead and read.
But he knoweth not that the dead are there.
What are there?
The dead are there.
The dead are there. Go ahead and read.
And that our guests are in the depths of hell.
And that our guests in the depth of hell. But I'm going to take this condition. He's on his way to the lake of fire with you. You cannot do stuff like that, sisters and brothers. You cannot go that way. You don't deal with another man's wife. Then again, you don't go out and commit fornication. Brother, boy, I'm flesh. I understand that. And God gave us this emotion. Sometimes we have to really struggle to hold them back. Mm-hmm. So if your struggle is too hard, maybe you should petition the Lord. Maybe he'll send you somebody. He can do that. But let's go into 1 Corinthians 6th chapter and show you what happened. 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Because this is the Lord letting you know a lot of sins you commit. Maybe some of them is not as severe as all, but you got one that's really severe. 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter, and we're going to start reading at verse 15. 6 and 15. You know, we just have to read these sometimes, sisters and brothers. We give you all these great lessons of wisdom and teaching you how to get salvation, and then you end up in the lake of fire because of your personal behavior. You wasted your time. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 15. Verse 15. Go ahead.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ?
And that's what you have to learn. Especially you've been baptized, you're under covenant. Your body is a member of Christ. Go ahead and read.
Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot?
Now, you're a man of God. Shall you go out and you deal with a prostitute? Go ahead and read.
God forbid.
Uh-huh.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body?
So when you come together, you're one body then, sister and brother. This is what he's letting you know. People don't think, well, I went on out, man. I have got to, man, I ain't getting married. Why should I get married, man? Man, $20, that'd keep me from spending $200 to take care of her. That's, yeah, somebody going to take care of you, though, partner. So he's saying, look, when you come together, you one. Be careful who you join yourself with. Go ahead and read.
For two saith he shall be one flesh.
Go ahead.
For he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
Go ahead.
Flee fornication.
Uh-huh.
Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
Pay attention to this. Flee fornication. Because every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But go ahead and read.
But he that committed fornication.
But he that committed fornication.
Sinneth against his own body.
Sinneth against his own body. That's serious, and we don't think it, sisters and brothers. We think it's, I'm having a little free love. We don't have to worry about it. We are a new generation. We are free spirits.
Okay.
Until the Lord drop you in that flame, you ain't going to be free then. Y'all understand me? But it's just showing you some things that the Lord wants you to see. Let's go into Proverbs, the 26th chapter. It's not all about men and women. It's interaction. A lot of it is about the way you should behave. Proverbs chapter 26. There's one thing I learned early on. You can't have everything that you want without consequences. I can have it, but am I prepared for the consequences? This is what you have to think about. The consequences. I want that. I've actually prayed at times for things that I shouldn't have. I thank God that he didn't send it to me and then kick me upside the head when it got there. Verse 17, go ahead.
He that passeth by and meddleth with strife, belongeth not to him. That belongeth not to him is like one that taketh the dog by the ears.
Well, I'll make that real simple. If you get in somebody else's business that ain't none of your business, you're going to suffer some consequences. It's just like grabbing a dog by the ears. What you think he's going to do? He's going to bite you. You understand what I'm saying? So if it ain't your business, leave it alone. I see this brother out there committing adultery on his wife. You know what I'm telling him? So look at him, man, you know that's against the law. Get out my face. Then I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't going to go and tell it to his wife. You understand? And I ain't going to tell it to the brother here, because that ain't none of his business, because it's not like my business. I'm going to leave it alone. Like Paul said, he's going to turn you over to Satan. The Lord will send him for you. Skip down to verse 20. Verse 20 and go ahead.
Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out.
Uh-huh.
So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceases.
See, that's why I wouldn't go and tell his wife. Even though it's the truth sometimes. A talebearer is a talebearer. Leave it alone. Give him the same room that God gave us all, and that is room to repent. But when you go and talk to everybody, now you've taken away the room to repent. Because if he tried, like people say, well, get some of these Sunday churches got people getting up and confessing their sin before the whole congregation. I said, that's the craziest thing in the world. Lord said, when you pray, do it in the closet. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand. Oh, Lord, please forgive me, because I slept with Brother James' wife and I'm so sorry. Lord might forgive me, but Brother James ain't going to forgive me.
Sure won't.
You understand what I'm saying? So much for open confession. Food for thought, sisters and brothers. Food for thought. What verse are we?
That was the end of 20.
Go ahead.
As coals out of burning coals and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife.
This ain't man and woman now, sisters and brothers. Somebody always running their mouth into something that they ain't got no business dealing with. Go ahead.
The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly.
So when you do that, it's just like you stabbing somebody in the belly with a knife. That's a talebearer. Don't you know sometimes words hate worse than weapons? Words of a talebearer, just like walking up to somebody and stab them in the stomach with a knife. You don't like them? Well, you say, I'm going to tell you this, my brother, my sister, because I love you. No, you don't do that. Because what you're going to tell them is not going to fix it. If it's not going to fix it, then why are you going to tell them? If you could fix it, go to the one that's doing wrong. Tell them. Not to the one that's being wrong. Unless somebody's embezzling somebody out their money. You say, hey, look, if you do this, you're going to lose your money. But there's certain things you just leave alone. That ain't none of your business. Skip now to verse 27. Verse 27, and go ahead.
Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. And he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
And that's what you might think. You're going to dig a pit for somebody else, always trying to lay something, won't hurt somebody. Remember that pit you dug, you're going to fall in it according to the word of God. And if you're going to roll a stone up a hill to try and roll on somebody, it's going to roll back on you. If it's not your business, leave it alone, sisters and brothers. Leave it alone. Because a talebearer hate the people that they're telling it to. I knew this guy. He was a big womanizer, biggest on the planet. But he was very careful, kept it away from his house. His children found out about it and went and told their mama. And that grieved her so much she ended up dying from it. They didn't have to do it. She didn't work. She was doing good. She didn't know. You go and tell them, you ain't going to stop nothing. What you do is, if you cannot fix it, don't address it. Y'all understand? It's even like you get people talking about like they love their ministers, sisters and brothers. I want to let you in on a big secret. If anybody that's lying to you in the name of the Lord, they don't love you. You know why? Because they're going to end up getting you thrown in the lake of fire, because only the truth is going to save you. So sometimes we don't know who loves us and who don't.
Son.